Hey everybody, I know it's been a little while since I've reviewed a movie, but I've got a good one today. This has been out since 2018. It is called The Wolf House. But most people have probably not seen this because it really hasn't been available until really recently for most people. I think it appeared on Mubi about a year or two ago. It's been available for rent for a little bit, and it just dropped on Shudder as a Shudder exclusive for streaming services as of January 15th or so. So, what is The Wolf House? The Wolf House is directed by Joaquin Cochina and Cristobal Leon, and it is an animated feature out of Chile. You know how every so often there's a movie that just is so creatively jaw-dropping and such a singular vision and so unique that it just blows you out of the water. Now, this movie did that for me. That being said, this is not for everybody. It's an experimental film. It's an animated film. So for some people, that might take it out of your purview right away. But it shouldn't, because this is a fantastic and really unique and really interesting movie. Once again, it's on Shudder. It is not horror, or, I mean, it has creepy elements to it, but this is not a horror movie. This is just insane animation. So, how to describe it? The basic concept is a young girl, Maria, escapes from a commune in Chile, and she has freed two pigs from this place. And it basically starts with her in this house, the Wolf House, with the two pigs. And she's escaping and trying to kind of, be free, live free. And the whole movie mostly takes place in this house. And what they've done is this really amazing combination of different types of animation in a way that is really impossible to describe without seeing it. But I'll do my best. First of all, I don't usually suggest people watch trailers because I don't like to watch trailers. I like to be fully fresh going into a movie. This movie, go for it. Watch the trailer because it'll give you a taste of the animation style and what you're in for. And if it entices you, then you know you're in for something really special. If you really want to go in cold, I'll do my best. Now, you'll start out with things like a room, a single room, in a small room in this house. Wooden walls, wooden doors. And animated in front of you, the walls will get painted. These are full size. This is not like a model. And then the walls will get painted white. And maybe they'll get painted black. And then there'll be shapes painted on the walls. So for example, you watch a face get painted and shape out in front of you, animated style, onto the wall. And then you watch that face move across the wall, which means they have to paint the face and unpaint behind it to make it look like it's moving. That would be pretty complicated on its own. Now imagine that face going from the wall where it's painted and going three-dimensionally into the space in front of you as it constructs into like a paper mache model of that face, and the face will be moving and reshaping into the space while the walls behind it are also changing and the patterns are changing on that. The whole movie is like that, where you have this constant transformation and morphing and animation of real space and real time, both with painting, with painted images, with three-dimensional paper mache and other kinds of clay images. And you'll have actual objects that'll be, done in reverse, so they go from broken to put together. I can't describe the amazing, mesmerizing way this is animated. It would seem to be something that could only be interesting for 5 to 10 minutes. For me, it maintained its very imaginative and breathtaking quality throughout. This is 5-star filmmaking. In my book, it doesn't get any better than this when someone is just really creating a singular and insane vision. Now, that being said, you could watch this whole movie and think the story is just kind of a trippy, dark, creepy-ish, and fascinating, almost a fairy tale of this girl and the pigs and what happens with them in this house, and the wolf that talks to them sometimes. Almost like Three Little Pigs, where the wolf is like a character lurking about outside the house. You don't see it, but you hear the voice of the wolf. And it does work on those levels. You can take it only on those levels. But if you really want to go down the rabbit hole and you really want to have this movie hit you and really understand this is not just abstract, this is like a really dark fairy tale version of actual real events that existed, then this just gets a layer on top of what it already has that will, hopefully, if it does for you what it did for me, it will hit you on an even deeper level and you'll be like, wow, this movie is incredible. I'm not going to go through all the details, but I would say watch this movie cold. I think honestly that's the best way to get it. But then after that, if you look up the Colonia Dignidad, and I'm probably saying it wrong, the colony called Colonia Dignidad that was in central Chile, and there are various YouTube documentaries and reports about what this was. And officially the former Nazi Paul Schaefer, who was a main influence of that secretive colony, then you will understand even deeper what this movie is going for. This is spectacular filmmaking. I cannot recommend this highly enough, especially for those who are into animation and or very daring filmmaking. This is spectacular. So hopefully for those of you this sounds interesting to, you will go and check it out. Hopefully you have Shudder. If you don't, you can rent this movie on all the various streaming services, Amazon and so forth. You just have to pay $2 or $3. I would say it's worth it. Once again, this is about a 70-minute movie. For an animated movie, that's long enough because it's a very, very dense movie. And I think I went back and watched parts of it, and I can watch the creativity in this over and over. It may not be for everybody, once again, but I would highly recommend The Wolf House.